for... Oh. Hi everyone, apologies for being late. You wouldn't believe that I'm actually in the MSc today doing the actual assessment presentations. So many thanks for waiting. I know we've got a couple online today. What I have to talk to you about is just basically give you an insight into the MSc in Sport and Exercise Psychology here at Ulster University. My name is Leanne Sharp. I am the course director of our MSc here in the School of Sport. The MSc is accredited by the British Psychological Society, and it is the only one accredited on the island of Ireland. So let me take you through some of the information. If you guys have any questions, pop it into the chat box or raise your hands, and I am more than happy to stop and take those questions. Okay, so why come to Ulster? As I said to you, this is our MSc is the only one accredited on the island of Ireland, so that sets us apart from the rest of the MScs offered in psychology, in sport and exercise and performance psychology on the island. Looking here, you can see some of the benefits on this slide of studying here at Ulster. It gives you personal fulfillment. You've got a number of experts on the course, and you're supported in a really positive environment. And undertaking this MSc at Ulster will allow you to meet the requirements of stage 1 of training to become a sports psychologist. Then looking at the quantifiable benefits, undertaking an MSc here at Ulster, you get an extra average amount in your earning. Postgraduates are 21% more likely to be highly skilled or go into highly skilled employment. You get that increased in your earnings, as well as helping you with your personal development and fulfillment. So looking at how we offer the MSc here at Ulster, it's flexible. We have a full-time and a part-time approach to the course, and with it we deliver the taught content in block format. Now, last year we obviously had a very different year, and all of our content and delivery had to move online due to the pandemic. But coming this year, and this year's intake, starting in a couple of weeks, are coming online. Coming on campus, and they're able to have their classes face to face, which is brilliant because it helps individuals interact with their peers, as well as get to know the staff and the school and use the facilities, which they really haven't been able to do. I'm going to skip ahead and look there at applying to the University of Ulster. It is a streamlined application system. It is all online and all the information is there. All right, there are no official closing dates for the MSc in Sport and Exercise Psychology, and that means it's rolling. However, we only do have one intake onto the course, and that's in September. And that's the annual intake, and that is for those that are doing full-time and part-time courses. You can apply for multiple courses if you're perhaps torn between if you want to do an MSc in sports coaching or sports psychology. You can apply for multiple courses, but it's important that you fully complete the application form, and if you haven't heard anything from us, give yourself a reasonable timeline. Please get in contact. There's some information on the fees. I'm putting my hands up and telling you I am not the person to ask about fees. However, we would suggest that you go to see Student Finance. All of that information is available on the website. I don't know about that because it's constantly changing. Okay, so What I can tell you about, however, is the information about the MSc here at Ulster. So as I said, it is the only one accredited by the British Psychological Society here on the island of Ireland. Why is it important that you consider that? Well, to become a chartered member of the Society, of the British Psychological Society, or BPS, by undertaking your MSc with us, that'll allow you to be able to undertake membership. Now, there are a number of training routes that are now in place in the UK to become accredited as a sports psychologist. It isn't actually the training route of the British or the BPS or BASIS that gives you that title sports psychologist. Once you've done those education and trainings, you then apply to the HCPC, and that's the Health and Care Professionals Council, who then assess your qualifications and your training to date. So coming on to our MSc here at Ulster with an undergraduate in psychology or recognised sports psychology and courses recognised by the BPS will allow you to step onto their development route or their training route. So if you are coming onto the course with that underneath your belt and having completed our MSc, you will then be able to undertake stage 2 training. And that's your supervised experience. That's the training you take with a supervisor. However, there's another route you can take, and that's taking a professional doctorate in sport and exercise psychology, and that's offered by a number of institutions around the UK. We have yet to offer that here at Ulster. So once you've completed your MSc, which is stage 1 of the BPS training route, and completed stage 2, that's that supervised experience, you can then apply to the HCPC in order to gain that title of sports psychologist. It's quite a detailed training route, but once you get your head around it, it starts to make sense. And if you go on to the BPS's website and Google sports and exercise psychology, BPS, or BPS sport and exercise psychology, the training pathway is there and clearly laid out for you. Okay, so what are the entrance requirements for you to come on to the MSc here at Ulster? Well, we have a number. First of all, it's coming in with that background or undergraduate degree in psychology. The other route you can come onto the course is if it's a sports science or sport related subject as well as your undergraduate. All of those you need to have at least gained a second class honours degree. All right. With that though, we do also accept equivalent standards to that in graduate diplomas or certificates or postgrads diplomas and certificates, but those are considered on individual basis. In addition, if you don't have your undergraduate degree in psychology or a sports related topic, there is what we call an APEL route, and it's accreditation for prior learning route, and that's for individuals who maybe have got a different degree but a lot of experience within sport or coaching and are really interested in the psychological side of things. And again, that you apply directly to me, the course director, and it's reviewed by myself and my colleagues. And here we are. That's me, Leanne. I'm the course director here at Ulster. I've been here 8 years. I'm a chartered psychologist with the BPS. I am accredited with BASIS as well as a sports scientist, and I work with I provide psychological support to the Sports Institute of Northern Ireland as well as the Irish Institute of Sport. And my main practice at the minute, I've had athletes who were at Tokyo at the Olympics and Paralympics I've been working with, individual athletes, as well as I provide psychological support to Gulf Ireland at the minute. Then we have my colleagues, Dr. Kyle Parody and Dr. David Woods, both of whom are experienced researchers in the area of sport and exercise psychology as well as practitioners. So between the three of us, We deliver the content on the course, bringing in experts as and when we feel they would add benefit. All right, our email addresses are there. So after today's session, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate and drop me an email. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have or organise a time to chat. So what are the aims of the programme? Now, I've pulled this directly from our course website, and really, because this is stage 1 of the BPS training, it's very much around your knowledge and understanding in it. So the main focus here is really to make sure you've got that sound knowledge and understanding of the key theoretical issues, as well as how we can use our tools to help in that sport and exercise setting. Now, within the course, we do give you opportunities to gain and apply practical skills to be able, at both an individual and a group level, to enhance performance, as well as helping you develop, plan, implement, and evaluate any sort of applied work in that setting. At the same time, though, we need to help develop your research skills, and there we're talking about that critical eye, that critical self-reflective eye that will help you conduct research, and as well as, I say, conduct research, but also to look at the literature that's out there and to get a real critical knowledge and understanding from it. We also do spend some time on looking at, well, actually, if this is the area you want to go into, how do you go about it? How do you create that independent practice as a sports psychologist? So those would be our aims of the programme. They're aligned very much with, as I said, we are accredited through the BPS, and they have very clear guidelines on what content we should be delivering, as well as the student-staff ratio and the topics covered. So talking of topics, this is what our students coming in September are going to be covering. So each of these columns is a semester. So if you're on the course for full time, you will be going for a full academic year and covering 3 academic semesters. So the first semester, if you were coming on for full time, you would be covering social perspectives in sport and exercise psychology, applied sports psychology and contemporary issues, as well as research methods for physical activity. You'd be covering those 3 modules, and that would be delivered in block 4 different teaching blocks, and those are pretty intense days, going from 9 to about 4:35, with a couple of breaks in between. And on those days, you will have the opportunity to attend lectures, workshops, tutorials, and practical activities to allow you the chance to really develop your knowledge and understanding. That first semester here at Ulster goes from September through to January, and assessments are included within that. The second semester then goes February through to June, and your second semester on the full-time mode of the MSc would include professional practice, ethics and applied sports psychology, physical activity and mental health, and a new module that is group dynamics and organizational psychology in sport and exercise. Again, that would be covered in one module, delivered in block teach formats. And our third semester, which runs over the summer, will be going from June through to September, where you'll be working independently with a supervisor on a research project. Now, we allow our students here at Ulster to have the autonomy to decide what topic area they would like to deliver or investigate within their research project. Now, obviously, the 3 members of staff on the course have research expertise, we have areas of interest and active projects, and we advertise these to our students at the start of the year. But we also give you the opportunity to be able to follow a topic that you're interested in. I mean, it is your MSc after all. As I said, you can you can take the MSc in a full-time and a part-time mode. If you were to do this in a part-time mode, you would be splitting this across 3 years. All right, in semester 1, in year 1, you would be doing 2 modules. And in the semester 2 of that year, you would be taking 1 module. Okay, so you'd be taking 3 modules a year in the part-time mode as opposed to a semester in the full-time mode. And then in year 2, you'd be taking 1 module in semester 1 and 2 semester 2. Then in that third and final year, you have the 2 semesters to conduct your research dissertation or your research project. So it's a great opportunity. We have a number of part-time students on the course at the minute, and with that, okay, Sean, great question. So we have a number of part-time students on the course at the minute. Most of at the minute, we have them across all 3 year groups. We've got people coming into their 3rd year to do their research dissertation, but Sean asked a really great question here, and this has happened in the past. So we've had people go through the 2 years in part-time, and at the end of their 2nd year, they've then flipped to full-time. So then they use that 3rd semester as a full-time student to conduct their dissertation or their research project. So then they'd be completing it within 2 years. Does that answer your question, Sean? No problem. Okay, so that's our content. And as I said to you, the modules are delivered in a variety of direct lecture, workshop. We expect a lot more student engagement in our MSc at the MSc level, because we want to hear your experiences and expect you to share them and help increase that. Now, this is an example of what semester 1 is going to look like for this year's cohort coming in. So you'll see we've got 4 block teaches where we expect the students to come on campus. We've got SLS 812, so that's the social perspectives, that's taught in that first module, or that first block teach. 3 days in from 9 to 5. Now that isn't the only work we expect you to do in the module. That is the direct contact work. We expect you to do 4 times that in that amount of time in independent study and working alongside the module coordinator. All right, and you'll obviously be doing a number of assessments throughout the year for each of those modules, and you can see those included in the timeline there. We've got presentations, we've got a class test, we've got a number of assignments and case studies. And I know for SLS 801, your research methods, that you would be expected to produce a research portfolio. And that all is linked to your final research project. So we're trying to build that knowledge and understanding as we progress through. Okay. Looking at the assessments, and I know for some people coming into the MSc, they haven't done any sort of assessment. It's been a while since they've maybe been at university or done any studying, and therefore a while since they've done undertaken any assessments. I would say to you, do not worry about it. There is help and support here on staff to help you get through this. All of the assessments on this MSc are 100% coursework. All right, and that means there are no exams in exam times. All right, and the assessments come in the form of essays, research proposals, presentations, a class test, individual and group presentations and work. All right, now at an MSc level, and this differs from an undergrad level, at an MSc level, you're expected to pass the pass mark is 50%. All right, and with that then, looking at how you're graded across your MSc at the end, an overall mark at the end of 70%, and that's including your research dissertation, you'll end up with a distinction. All right, now we've got very clear assessment criteria for each of the modules. These are all delivered by the module coordinator at the start of each semester in your module handbook. And you're given a module handbook for each of your modules where all the core information is that you will need. In addition, we provide Blackboard support, so all of the lecture content and additional readings are all put up there online for our students to be able to access. Okay, I have a slide here about the Belfast campus. Our MSc should have been being delivered in Belfast from September. However, it's not happening. With the impact of COVID, we are going to keep our MSc here at Jordanstown for this academic year with the aim of September 2022, with the course being there. And we're super excited because the facilities are amazing. Yeah, okay, so this year we will be delivered on the Jordanstown campus as we previously have been, with the aim of moving to the Belfast campus September 2022. All right, now I've got a slide here about COVID and the implications. As I said, this year's master's course have been taught completely remotely. However, today is their first day of being on campus and doing their presentations and meeting their fellow peers in their course. However, we have really had to adapt as staff to be able to provide for our students online remotely, but at the same time, we are returning to campus this year, and there are a number of really clear health and safety guidelines that we have to adhere to. And we will make sure. Gail has asked me there, do you think there will be some aspects of the course online? Gail, at the minute, our aim is to be fully face-to-face. There are, as I said to you, a lot of our content, a lot of our support is done online. So we have students on our MSc from all over Ireland. Okay, so that means that it's not always the easiest for students to come up and have a one-on-one with their research supervisor. And I do all of my supervision online with my research students. So yes, there are certain aspects of the course that lend themselves really easily to online delivery, but the main taught content will be face-to-face this year. No problem. Okay, that's my final slide. I've had a couple of questions. If anyone has any other questions, please put your hand up, switch your microphone on, give me ask away, or pop it in that chat box. Otherwise, there's my email address, my office number. Drop me an email and I'd be happy to respond. So any questions? No problem, Sean. No problem, Gail. Hopefully I'll see you guys. Brilliant. Well, if we have no more questions, I'm going to hop off and say thanks very much. And again, I look forward to hearing from you on email if you have any questions. Best wishes. Bye.